Well, good evening, y'all. We're alone with each other on this Friday night. Wait for some folks to come in and join us. Justin, our Whiskey Friday producer, is back in his homeland on Oahu. He is seeing to some sick family members. So it'll be it's good to have him here when he's here. It's also, I think this is the first time he's gone back to Hawaii since he moved to Washington. Yeah, I think it's the first time he's gone home. Good evening, Oris. How are you? So we are streaming live from my computer. No fanciness. Hopefully everybody can hear me all right. The mic is working. It seems like it's working all right. We got a couple things to go through this fine evening. One of which is this bad boy. Those of you who don't know what this is, I'll guide it from the back. We're using the cloth because it's got devil grease all over it, aka known as anti-seize. Will literally get on everything. Your unborn children. Oh, right on. Justin has joined us. It looks good and sounds good. What's up, brother? He's producing a little bit. He's producing a little bit. We'll do a walk around here in a bit. I wanted to talk a little bit about. Let me see if I can share some thingies here. Share screen, entire screen, and we're gonna go over here to do that and share. And we're going to go to my photos and share what, not that, my photos. Photos. Where's my photos? Can't drive my own freaking computer. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. This one. So I've got some insider information. You guys see that? What's up, Larry? Could you guys see what I was trying to share or no? Can't see. Great. Nope. Well, that's going to make this even more difficult. Let me see if I can try and share it again. Share screen. It is not going to let me do this very easily. Window. Entire screen. Do that. Share. Yeah, I don't have them in Slack. Actually, I do have them in Slack, but I got to get into Slack through Google, correct? That's right. That's right. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me do this the old-fashioned way. So I want to share with you the letter that I got forwarded to me from our secret squirrel insiders from PCNA about the Centerlock stuff. Very exciting and exciting. More thanks, Porsche, for making this no fun. Well, maybe I'll share this with you. Or maybe I'll just be reading it to you because it doesn't seem that it wants to load. So that's nice. Or we can do this the way that I gave Justin crap about that I would do if I needed to and just show you the picture on my phone. We're going to do it the ghetto does not have any technological capability way. So you guys can't read it at all, but you know, let me find it here. From Elliot. Yep, there we go. Okay. So this, let me get over here, is the letter that I got from a friend of mine at a Porsche dealership. So, and the dee-doo is somebody asking questions, customer in Vancouver asking questions as to whether or not he should have wider wheels and tires on his car. After he got quotes for brakes and wheels to be able to run said wheels and tires. So feels a little bit like he should have asked those questions before, but you know. Oh, that's my kitty cat. Hold on. So anyway, let me read this to you so that you guys don't have to read it your damn selves, because let me Google that for you, so to speak. Ted and I give each other crack each other up about that. Okay, here's some updates on the ARC4 campaign as of today. For clients asking for a loaner vehicle, please open a repair order and keep it open until the client's vehicle is repaired. Please clarify on the repair order that a loaner vehicle is being provided due to the ARC4 Stop Drive campaign. If the client prefers to keep the vehicle in their possession, please notate this on the repair order and have the client sign the repair order acknowledging that they not only have possession of their own vehicle, but they have not been instructed not to drive it. That's a lot of knots in there. Sorry about that. PCNA will reimburse your Porsche Center if they place the client. I'm not going to read the amount in a Porsche vehicle. As of this time, updated parts are scheduled to arrive in mid to late December 2024. We'll get to some of the comments here in a second. Good evening, Mr. Jack Curtis. Let me see who's here. Larry's here. What's up, brother? Oris is here. Justin is here. Eric B is here. What's up? We got a little, what do we got? We got some rye in the glass. It is Maker's rye. It's delicious. And I need to plug in my laptop. Struggling here. I don't have a Justin to make my life easy. I got to do everything myself. You can see how good I am at doing things myself. 1 second. You can see my belly. There we go. Now we have the power. Let's see. We were saying, yeah, there's Elliot. Back to here. Where was I? So, as of this time, updated parts are scheduled to arrive in mid to late December 2024. In about a month. We will keep you updated as we hear more news. If you have any clients who are upset, sorry, PCNA, but you're supposed to be happy that the $400,000 to $500,000 car that we paid ADM on that we can't use for I'm not sure how long. We're supposed to be happy about that. I may close Shopify inbox for now because there's a very rousing conversation going on. So I'll just close that for now. Somebody trying to justify whether or not they should spend the money, which is it's always a good question. You should absolutely question whether or not you should spend the money. All right. So we are getting back here. So if you are upset or requesting something in addition to a loaner car, exactly. Like when I'll get to this, Peter. Mr. Track Car, the famous Track Car, has joined us on Whiskey Friday. I don't know if he's been lurking or not, but it's been a minute. Haven't seen Peter at Smokies in a few years. Yes, I'm pretty sure Peter still has an accent. And Peter is one of the few guys who has actually been to this building. So Peter has been here. He was here a number of years ago. Let's see. If you have any clients that are upset, have them call 1-800-PORSCHE and they'll open a case and review them for consideration. All of my 992 GT3RS brethren, we must call 1-800-PORSCHE and raise a holy fucking hell. I'm just going to say, I'm not one for organizing a protest, but this is something that we should most certainly protest and join in united ensuring that Porsche doesn't just give you a fucking loaner car. Are you serious? Sorry, you can't drive your car on. You're going to drive the give me a GT3RS loaner car. That'd be great. I'll take a like for like. Does that work? No? Okay. How about a Dundon Zone January 6th? Where are my horns? I need my horns on to be instigating this mess. These nuts.
These bolts.
These bolts. Yeah, these bolts. So let me get back to the rest of this here. So absolutely call 1-800-Porsche and cause a stink. Those of you who have not joined us live, do this. Now here's what you all came for. How do you really know if you have an issue? Here's how you really know. You will really know if the manufacturing dates of the affected bad wheel locks themselves are CW36 2023 to CW49 2023. And the way you know is you take your center lock off. Of course, you jack the car up, you be safe. You use your high torque gun, makes it easy. Just saying, we have them in stock. If you don't have one, you might want one now. And they have a sticker. And you can see that this one is 47 of 23. So that would be work week 47 of 2023, which is squarely in the middle of this fucking date range. So that means we're waiting and hanging out. Or if you're a baller, you just go to Porsche, buy some new center lock nuts that do not fall in that date, bolt them the fuck on the car and go on your merry way. All done. Yeah, but now probably everybody else has done that and they're probably out of center lock nuts.
You know, we could just technically take the ones off lab mounts and throw them.
Technically, they would fit. If you have a 991.1, you could any 991 go backwards. So,
you know who has a lot of spare center lock nuts? He buys a new set with every set of wheels. He buys center lock.
There are local, we'll call them crazy people. Maybe not crazy, but enthusiastic. They're enthusiastic that will buy new center lock nuts for every set of wheels that they put on the car, so that the center lock nuts go with the wheels. That's cool. But yeah. So we'll go through those dates again, just so that you can see them. It is work week 36 of 2023, work week through work week 49 of 2023. Yeah, he's in the background. He's in the background, Kimmy. She's like, do I hear Charles? Yes. No, there's no Charles here. And then the production dates of vehicles are below. Please know that not every vehicle produced with center locks in this period is affected. Well, that's very helpful. So, September 9, 2023 to October 21st, 2024 for model year 24 911s, which is obviously wrong because my car was finished. Yeah, but my car was finished in December, and it's saying it's September 9th, 2023 to October 21st, 2024. So is that the start of production? Is the production date? Or the finishing production?
August 1st is the first day of the model year.
Yeah, I get that. But this is like over a year. September 9th, 2023 to October 21st, 2024.
They made the 1987 Ferrari F40 for 5 years.
Yeah, understood. You're not helping. He's worse off camera. God bless. You just got an ad? On the live, you got an ad? Oh, wild. What did I do? Maybe I clicked the wrong button.
YouTube wants that check.
YouTube we are monetizing this. We have almost got $100 off of YouTube. Who knew? What was the ad for, Larry? Was it for center locks? Is Porsche watching this and making you get an ad for center locks? Was it for whiskey or was it from High Torque or from us for a high torque gun? Maybe we should try and monetize our own monetization. Model year 24 718 GT3RS, October 24, 2023 to April 2nd, 2024. So to me, the only thing that's really important is to pull the center locks off and see what the date is. That's all. See what the date is. If the date is between work week 36 of 2023 and 49 of 2023, that's what you're worried about. So, yeah, and here in the Northwest, I feel for Peter because he's waited all summer to actually have some good times to go down to a 214 at Sebring or whatnot. He might have been doing that in his 997 4.0 RS. Peter's fast as fuck at Sebring. In his 992, I don't know, but that's the skinny. That's the direct as we know it. 36 to 49 of 2023. So work week 36 to 49. 36, 49. Just remember it. 36, 49. 6 squared, 7 squared. For you math nerds out there. Maybe easier for you to remember. And if you pull your center lock nut, this is where the sticker is. It's on the backside of the locking mechanism. So what's funny is this was an improvement because this part used to stay in the car. Now it comes with the center lock. And now we have a center lock recall. Was it an improvement?
All 992s have that.
I know. So we do have one question here. 7 Money Bag Yo. Do you still sell the exhaust for Porsche Carrera 4S 2022 model? We never did sell an exhaust for a 2022 Carrera 4S. That's a turbo car. We sell a 991.1 Carrera exhaust, which was naturally aspirated. We do not sell the .2 because that was the start of the turbocharged Carreras. And it's more just hours in the day. It isn't that we don't want your money. We would love to make turbo exhausts. It's just we only have so many hours in the day. That's how it goes. I also wanted to talk about, let me see if I can find a picture maybe in Slackaroony. I can fast forward it here. There's been a lot of discussion on the interwebs, at least on my feed, about strut tower failures. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this because I feel that there's some snake oil being sold. And I want to ensure that at least the loyalists from Dundon hear it from us that we're not buying the snake oil. We're not hearing that. Yeah, honestly. Sorry, I'm watching the Peter wrote, I have a couple boxes with 991.1 and 991.2 RS wheels. If you have the center locks from those cars, you could use them. As long as they're not timed out, they will work. You got wheel locks. There you go. Find the ones with that aren't as old. You didn't hear it from me. I am not giving advice. I am not a legal advisor.
There's no issue with hubs.
Correct. Well, they're not saying that it's hubs.
Well, they just asked for the date on the bolts, though. That might be
Charles,
an easier way to check.
Oh yeah, if they're all timed out, don't use them. Yeah, I would not put a timed out center lock bolt. 12,000 track miles. They're very well timed out. Those are clean them up and use them as coasters or paperweights or something. Do not put on car. Charles did bring up an interesting point. It's possible that these center lock nuts are the canary in the coal mine, so to speak, that this is actually a hub issue because the failure we saw was weird. If Justin was here, he could grab those pictures really quick, and I don't know that I could find them as fast as he can. I might be able to. I think I have some of these here. These are back a bit. Yeah, I did take these. So here's one of the pics. So you can see that the lock is still inside the hub, but it's supposed to be inside the nut when it comes out. So that's really, yeah. I think, Peter, I think this makes more sense. This way is that it's also part of the hub. It's the inner part that the bolt is screwing into that makes more sense. Because it was just Centerlock nut. Wouldn't they just send us new nuts and have a good day? Like, here, swatch these out. You don't. The other ones were bad.
Yeah.
So
that's what I just thought about.
Yeah, I think this is more this is how you tell, and we're getting the parts together so that we can get it all done. So unfortunately, you guys are getting a lot of pictures of my kitty cat. So there you go. Unfortunately, I don't think there's an easy, fast way out of this. So even more reason to organize, right? This is the other thing, is none of the dealers know anything about this. No one's told them. So the amount of information that we're getting is pretty shitty. Yes. So 1-800-Porsche, you spent a lot of money on a really, really great car. You should absolutely be compensated for not being able to drive it, because that's bullshit as far as I'm concerned. I will be calling them as well, because we're developing suspension parts, all kinds of shit on the car, and we can't do fuck with it right now. We've actually got good weather in the Northwest as far as fall goes. Yeah, we can do math for the car, which is cool. We have a chalkboard. We can go to the chalkboard and do some math, but we can't go to the racetrack somewhere. I've seen it. We have a dry erase board with permanent marker on it. So yeah, we can't test any of the shit that we're designing on the car. So we're having to pivot a little bit for other things, but it is what it is. So let me find these pictures I was talking about. Strut braces. Strut braces are an interesting topic in relation to Porsches, because let me pause this. So this is what, there we go. It's in the middle. This is what a strut tower failure looks like on a Club Sport. So my issue with this picture, couple fold. One, this has a strut brace reinforcement on top of it and it failed. So hold up. So this has a strut brace reinforcement on it and the strut tower still failed? What the fuck? I thought if I bought a strut tower brace that it wouldn't fail. Isn't that the whole point of buying the brace? Well, that's what everybody who's selling them is trying to make me believe, is that if I buy it, my car's safe. This won't happen to me. I have a hard time. I've had a hard time. That's why you've not seen a strut brace come from Dundon, because if we actually thought it would do something to prevent the failure of, yes, I can show the brace picture again. I did that really quickly. Here we go. So that is a KW shock on a Club Sport. That is the brace. There's another picture that we can get to. You can see the brace is up here on the top, that black sheet metal, and it did not keep the strut from failing, the strut tower from failing. Nor should it have, in my opinion, because it's thin sheet metal. It's there to kind of hold it together. And no amount of sheet metal is going to keep cast aluminum from cracking. Again, my opinion as an engineer, we learned about some of this shit. I'm not a structural engineer, nor did I design the chassis for Porsche. Is it normal for the strut tower to crack like this? No, I don't believe it is. But Dundon has prescribed to the idea that this is stroke related on the damper. When you create, for instance, on the stock car, the stroke on the available amount of stroke before the damper runs out of stroke from ride height to full compression is like 2 inches. Is that about right, Charles? 2 inches? Stock damper front of a 4RS?
Yeah, 4.5 inches total travel. Yeah, it's around
ride height to full compression?
Yeah, it's like 2 inches total.
Two-ish.
The shock bottoms out before the tire bottoms out in the liner.
Yes. So the shock bottoms out before the tire bottoms out in the fender. So when a shock bottoms out, that means there is no more room to keep pushing up. You've got a solid block of metal. It's not going up anymore. So you got a solid block of metal and it can't move anymore. and you ask it to move some more, all of that force is going to be translated directly into that cast aluminum. And if that happens very quickly, that is a lot of energy trying to be controlled by a cast aluminum strut tower. In our opinion, solely our opinion, I have not seen an MCS car fail. I've seen KW cars fail. I've seen stock cars fail. What are the relationship between stock cars and KW cars? They have the same amount of stroke. Short. The MCS has more available stroke length, even at ride height. So we have more distance to be able to control what's going on as the wheel is quickly accelerating to the strut tower. So we can dampen it down, control its rate of ascension. Are MCS a solution for this? I'm not sure, but I would certainly pick a quality motorsports damper with adequate stroke length over some sheet metal bullshit that is going to make it so that you can limp the car back into the pits from the racetrack versus it completely prevents the failure.
If the shock bottoming out does cause the energy transfer to it, then the MCS shocks could possibly prevent that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to prove that. Easily.
FAL doesn't matter, brother. FAL doesn't matter. FAL is just a stack in the midst of the spring height. So when the shaft runs out of stroke and the whole thing comes up and there's no more there, there's no more there. It's the strut bottoms out before coil bind, and the strut bottoms out before the tire hits the wheel well. This is why you see all these failures, especially on stock 718s and 981s with soft front springs, because they're not being controlled. They bottom out. You got these amateur race car drivers that go out to these really big, scary tracks with big curbs, and they just bomb the curbs, and pow, it's gonna just explode.
If they airborne in the land, yeah.
Right? So
2 wheels off the ground.
If you're going to get a strut brace, and I know Joey fucking hates my guts right now, and it's fine. That's his prerogative. I can be his villain in his story. That's all good.
Send him a Christmas.
I plan to. I plan to troll that shit. Absolutely. If you want a strut brace as an insurance policy, then buy the one from Emotion Engineering. It's the best snake oil of all the snake oils that's out there. Is it still snake oil? I'm not one to say. I didn't design it, but it's still sheet metal over cast aluminum. So does it have other attachment points that will make it such that it is distributing load to stronger parts of the car? Potentially. But I would still expect that if you take a strong enough hit to crack that strut tower, you're just going to bend whatever sheet metal's on top. Will the car stay together long enough for you to be able to limp it back into wherever the hell you need to get it to get it on a tow truck? Yeah. But will it prevent the failure? I'm not signing up for that. I'm not signing up for that. The physics of it do not lend themselves to the strength of materials that you are reinforcing the thing with is weaker than the thing. Nope, not going to prevent it. Might make it less catastrophic.
I wonder if we can get an idea on, maybe from Wyatt, wheel rate acceleration from the shock.
Yep.
Info that they have.
Yep.
Based on that unsprung weight moving up and then decelerating instantly.
We could probably calculate that. That's a physics problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just calculate it someday.
Yeah, we just got to calculate it.
Just need the realistic.
When we weigh everything for the 992RS or the Cup car, we got all the masses then. It's just.
We can estimate that.
Get some data from Ryan on what a curb looked like. Yep. Just get some shock pot data on shock acceleration.
At that rate.
Yep. Here's how much energy this shock tower is trying to control. And you notice I use the word energy, not force, because this is force over time. The time is really short, even if the force isn't very great.
This is piston math to me.
This is piston math. Exactly. We're taking something up and we're moving it down. We're putting it back up. And we're pulling it down. And
60,000
Right. Exactly. So, anywho, what else is going on? Black Friday's going on, y'all. Get out your checkbooks. It's time to write checks to Dundon Motorsports. Your Porsche will be so happy. And I still have whiskey in my glass, so there you go. It's also the night that we're going to watch. It already happened. It's 5:10. Fight started.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's going to beat down a motherfucker tonight. I hope. I'm old.
I think the world hopes.
I hope the whole world hopes, because the YouTube guy, I mean, are you serious? Come on. That shouldn't even be happening. So if you have a 992 GT3RS and you are tracking the car like Peter, you should probably call us to get our suspension package for it. Suspension package is a number of things that other companies do not offer. So in addition to a upper camber link so that you can get more camber on the car, we have a tension arm that allows you to pull caster out of the car. And if you do not understand why that's important, you should probably go and review on our YouTube channel, where you are now, our, sorry, I'm getting distracted by the comments. You should go review some of our suspension Whiskey Friday Academy with our friend Mike Kojima. Short circuit for you. The reason that you want to pull caster out of a car that you've put a lot of camber in is on Porsches, because of the kingpin angle, trail, a number of other things. You end up adding caster when you add negative camber. I just did a double negative there, and I apologize. When you increase the negative camber, you end up with increased caster, which for very wide tires means that as you're turning the steering wheel, they're picking themselves up on their corners. It's what makes the steering wheel feel heavy. It also is what reduces the amount of grip that you have when you are turning the wheel into a corner. If you pick the tires up on their corners, they're not going to have the full contact patch in contact with the ground. So when you increase negative camber on a Porsche or other car with a similar trail or kingpin inclination angle, such that caster increases when you are increasing negative camber, you will want a tension arm that is adjustable to be able to reduce the amount of caster and keep the tires more flat as you're turning them. So I am not a suspension engineer. I'm I've been a business owner for a long time. I am an engineer, but I would never claim to be a chassis setup engineer, but I'm not half bad at it at this point, having learned a bit about weight transfer and dials and rates of change for shock absorbers and whatnot. It's all very transferable if you understand the basics, and that's what we're hoping to get to all of you through our educational series, so that you can patient heal thyself, in the words of some old Greek guy that knew some shit. Greek or Roman? Is it Greek?
It's all the same to me.
It's all Greek to me.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go through some questions, and I'll get back to my diatribes. Greekin. Yeah, Roman and Greekin. I like it. Your friendly neighborhood vampire, whomever that is. Welcome, your friendly neighborhood vampire. SB main event will go off until about 8 p.m. Pacific time. Really? Shit. I thought it was supposed to be at 5. I was told lies. Hopefully, because it's on Netflix, it will be on forever repeat, and we can watch it whenever we get a chance. Because my wife is not going to watch a bloodbath between a 58-year-old retired boxer and some YouTube guy when it's movie night. So, oh shit, it's a bunch of undercards. I did not think about that. Of course there are. So, we're buying a complete 991.2 GT3 engine and PDK and wire harness and all of the goodies that go with it for a project. Ooh, project. What are we doing?
Lost leader K-Truck.
Yeah. You guys saw our K truck? Probably not.
Not the first time we thought about it.
Yeah, that one's going to get a Suzuki engine.
Yeah.
Because it is a Suzuki. It's just we got to find the right Suzuki engine. It's been done before, but not the way that Charles wants to do it. He wants to do it and keep the four-wheel drive transaxle.
Heard of the Scudo?
Ooh, Suzuki Escudo. Any of you guys old school used to do video games back in the day? Good times. Okay, so we went through Centerlocks, and that Porsche's fucking the guys that pay the bills, so that's nice. And trying to get away with just getting us a loaner car. I don't need a fucking car. I got too many cars. I want that car. Unless you're going to replace that car with another car I can track with impunity for a while.
Watch out, they might send you a Boxster.
Ooh. As much as I love Boxsters. I don't know if you guys exactly Escudo Pikes Peak, brother. That's it. Charles just said they might give me a Boxster. I'm not hating on Boxsters. I love that. I've considered a new Spider RS. I have considered it.
Drink your whiskey and take phone calls, sell parts, and track it on the track in the time it takes you to do one lap.
Man, Charles is getting the throwing down the hate on the Boxster, on the thing that saved Porsche and actually made us be able to continue to have a business. Yes, we still have Hashi, Larry. So we have Hashi, for those of you that don't know, is a Toyota Dyna tow truck from Japan. And we still need to do some work to Hashi. Hashi is originally I had a big red Peterbilt, and if Justin was here, you could see a picture of it. I could probably try and find one. That truck is still for sale at Concept Transporters, for those of you who are looking for a beautiful and well-preserved 1984 Peterbilt cab over. Looks like Optimus Prime. It's totally dope. We'll haul 3 cars in it. It's an RV, and it is legit a semi, and I spent a fuckload of money making that engine fucking perfect. So, Peter's saying he just tracked the Spider RS at the ring a week ago. Not bad. I've heard that it's softer, and in my opinion, the 4RS is a little oversprung, maybe a little bit too tight. We've seen a lot of great benefits from our suspension package. It's my channel. I get to share my wares. But I would still be a little leery of tracking a 4RS with softer springs for the things that we've already talked about. With the short stroke and softer springs, you're going to see more failures. I am wondering, now I know this isn't the case with some folks, because I've seen some 4RSs that have broken. I don't believe that the stiffer springs were made to fix strut tower failures, but that may have been part of their thinking, or just trying to set an actual reasonable Nürburgring time on stock configuration, because the Nürburgring is a very special track and it needs a special setup, much different than a lot of other tracks in the rest of the world, because you have a lot of very high speed, as Peter can attest to if you've been to the ring. There's a lot of very high speed compressions that the car has to go through, and through those compressions, without adequate chassis support, you bottom out the car, and it's a little unnerving to bottom out the car at 130 miles an hour. It's not a fun thing to do. So the Transporters for sale at Concept Transporters. They're a company in California owned by Bruce Canepa, who you may have heard of, who owns Canepa Motorsport, something like that. He's a guy that takes all the 959s and rebuilds them into badass things. Bruce he's old school Porsche glitterati. He's, part of the puppet strings that move things around. I think he's selling the what the hell is it? The new God, I sound really fucking intelligent right now. Gordon Murray, the new Gordon Murray cars, T50.
Yeah.
They're the ones importing and selling the T50. So, there you go. Bunch of sharp dudes. If SB Main, if you're interested to learn more about the Transporter, let me know. It comes with a giant race day canopy, $50,000 canopy. It's bright red, definitely stands out.
24 and a half inch wheels, not 22 and a half.
24 and a half inch chrome wheels. Just saying, we should have rolled that shit up on SEMA. We'd have won some shit. It's a nice rig. It's just too much rig for us. We don't travel around and do a bunch of shit everywhere. It has a toilet. It doesn't have a poop pipe to go to the tank, but it does have a toilet. I wouldn't use the toilet. Just saying. You do you. If you want to use the toilet, you're welcome to do whatever you need to do. It also has a roof deck, which is really cool. You can climb up there and get on the roof deck, put your canopy up. It's really cool. Concept Transporters is where the truck is at. You can look for it there. What else we got going on? We're looking. So I'm going to throw Charles under the bus here. He's going to be like, shut the fuck up. Please stop talking. We're going to begin at some point this winter to support our friends at Umlaut. If you don't know Umlaut, look them up. They are a hot rod, air-cooled hot rod manufacturer. It's my buddy Sean, who's the founder of Smokies. He started his own company. He built himself a hot rod, him and his son. It's kind of the last thing that him and his son did before his son went off to college. And he had lots of anxiety about it. He'd never built a car before. He wasn't sure that he trusted himself to build a car for himself to drive. And Sean's a sharp dude. He's, retired after building a company, and he's got lots of money. He's done well for himself. He built Carl, a green, it's an SC hot rod, right? It's like a G-body hot rod. Yeah, I know. That's where I'm at, brother. I'm like, my Porsche life started at 993. That's my Porsche life, all the way going, right?
8 to 89.
I think it is Irish, Peter. Yeah, Peter may know better. So it's Irish green. It's got a Raw Sport 4-liter in it. Badass car, perfect for the mountains. Doesn't go crazy fast. It's not like driving a 992 GT3RS through the mountains of Georgia where you got to do 150 miles an hour to feel like your hair is on fire. You can do like 90 miles an hour and your hair is equivalently on fire because you're in a little shell that if you were to crash, you're going to die. Probably 150 miles an hour in a 992 3RS, you're also going to die. So there you go. Anywho, we're helping Sean out with an exhaust, some of our 3D printed awesomeness that we're going to put together so that he can have heat in his hot rods, but doesn't take up too much room. The way that Charles would have wanted to build an air-cooled exhaust long ago, but never had the opportunity to really do it because, because lots of reasons, generally lots of reasons. Anyway, so that's coming. Those of you who are also interested in such a thing, drop us a line, let us know, because it's not an exclusive thing just for Sean, but we're going to make him a pretty nice setup. We even got Jeff Gamroth's approval to run it, which is really a thing because he's an old curmudgeon and doesn't like to do new shit. So that's actually really cool. Took us years to get him to include dampers, harmonic dampers on his engine builds. I'll share a funny story about Jeff. So Jeff's awesome. He's awesome. He's very good at what he's done. He's built a beautiful business model. He's got racks and racks of people's old, air-cooled race cars and in a tiny little hamlet outside of Portland. Who the fuck would go there to store their race car internationally? Lots of people because they want to take it down to California. He's a great storage. He takes care of them, all this stuff. So Jeff's done a great job building his business, and good for him. He called me. I've been trying to push our 997 harmonic dampers on whoever will listen to me about them, because they improve the engine harmonics and they help to reduce unnecessary energy waste in an engine from shaking and not moving the cams the way they should, shaking them back and forth. In a 997, it shows up as cam bolts coming out. Peter's seen this in his 4.0 RS. Oil pump gears shearing off and breaking, blah, 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 blah. I don't think Peter had problems in his 997 RS, but 4.0 RS, but he knows those that have. So I sent a damper to Jeff Gamroth free of charge. Say, put it on one of your engines, on your engine dyno. If you don't like it, send it back. I don't know how long it was. We sent it. Jeff calls me one day. He's like, Jamie, do you hear this? I'm like, I don't hear anything. Exactly. This is the first time in I don't know how long that my desk hasn't like vibrated when we've had one of our engines on the engine dyno right behind me. I'm like, oh, that's sweet. What's the difference? We put your damper on it. Oh. So you believe me now? I do. And Jeff has bought dampers for his air-cooled projects ever since, especially his 997 cranked air-cooled projects, his 4-liter air-cooled projects. He has used our dampers exclusively ever since, which is fantastic. Gordon at Autometrics is another one that I have another story, but I'll share that another time. Gordon's also old, curmudgeon, seen all the snake oil in the industry, knows most of its bullshit, does not just sign up for bullshit. He had a customer. I'll share it. He had a customer, told him he wanted this damper. He had been talking to us. He was building a 4-liter 997.2 GT3. That car came in. Gordon was like, no, I don't know. I'm not going to use this. I don't know anything about it. Not going to use it. I told Gordon, okay, that's fine. Customer left. About 500 miles later, car came back. All the camshaft bolts had backed out. Gordon had to rebuild the engine. Gordon included a damper on the engine the second time and has included a damper on every engine thereafter that he has built, every Metzger that he has built, be it 4.0, 4.2. Lee Keen has one. Alex, what's Alex's last name? Berghorst. Berghorst has one. Berghorst got a sweet 997. He's got MCS on it. It's got our intake on it. That's a badass sleeper 997. Is it .1 GT3 or .2? .1 GT3.
GT3 not an RS.
Yeah, not an RS, which is like super sleeper, and the thing rips.
RS stuff on it.
Yeah, that thing fucking rips. I've driven it, and Alex and I have this thing when we're at Smokies. He gets to drive my shit at night. I get to drive his shit at night. Now, this last time he called.
He empties the tank.
He called in. We had the 992-3RS there. He hadn't driven one yet, and he had been drinking, and I had been drinking, and he's like, Jamie, it's time. It's nighttime. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, Alex, I know you're good for this, but this is a big digit. Please do not break my car. I don't care if you die. I'm kidding. I love Alex. No. His wife would beat my ass. She's also like 6'2". So, and a model. And she probably knows people who could absolutely make me disappear if she needed to. I'm like throwing them under the bus. I have no idea why. But Alex and his wife are beautiful people. They're wonderful people. And Alex is awesome to deal with. Anywho, more than you guys needed to know. Little Smokies gossip, I guess. I don't know. Anybody got any questions for me? 'Cause I'm over here riffing. It's 5:40. It's almost time to go get some hamburguesas. We should have, probably by the end of the month, potentially earlier, CAD file for the 3RS for Lab Rat.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. So we've been, a number of you have expressed your appreciation for our Whiskey Friday Academy series of videos. And a number of them are doing well online, which is great. We're going to continue that trend. I think the next one we're going to produce, is what the workflow is from scanning a car to creating a 3D model, because it's not as auto magic as a number of you think it is. It's substantially more work than even the purveyors of the 3D scanners would have you believe. Regardless of what software package you have, you still have to massage, manipulate, deal with, craft the surfaces from the point clouds that you get from 3D scanning. And for instance, the 3D scan that we took of our GT3RS was done in July. Is that when Harvey was here? June. It was June. We're just about to be finished with the model so that we can start the CFD on the car. It's November. Has he been working on it solidly the whole time? No. We had other things that we needed him to do before then. But I would say he's been working on it solid for at least 60 days. Cumulative.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometime.
2.5 months, give or take.
After Labor Day, at some point.
Yeah. So pretty solid after Labor Day. Not to say that he's slow, not to say that he's sandbagging. It's that much work. That's what I'm saying. Some of these, especially on the 9923RS, that's a complicated fucking car. There's a lot of really important shit you've got to capture in that model that is not what a normal car looks like. So that'll be coming up soon. We're very excited about that. Our friend Ryan, we will have another episode of Whiskey Friday Academy with Ryan from Zebulon after he's able to take in the model and do some of the initial CFD, and we can throw some wild shit on the car and kind of see what CFD comes up with. I would say that's probably closer to Christmas, maybe after New Year's, give or take. He'll have some time. As soon as we get him a model, then he'll be able to move forward. So it really doesn't, Larry. So Larry's question, for those of you who haven't seen it, SB Main 997.2 Carrera GTS 3.8 liter intake. Yes. 997.2 Carrera GTS.
That's a dual, yeah.
So DFI car. Our intake runners.
No, that's the GTS aluminum intake.
Oh shit. Yeah. GTS has a good intake. You don't need them. You're good. Just, it's aluminum, but I don't know. Drive in cold weather. Spray it with Flex Seal. I like it.
Better. Remember that.
What's that? Aluminum's better? Yeah, aluminum's better. So you don't need it. The S, yes. The GTS, no. So you need plus 30 horsepower. Brother, buy a GT3. Look over here. Say that. Who said that? Do you know how much the GT3RS Lab Rat weighs with or without a driver? We do, but give us a second. We've got a corner balance sheet here somewhere. Charles has them all over here. Let's take a poll before we tell the number. Somebody guess some numbers.
Everybody throw some up there.
Throw some up there. I'm going to say 3426.
I've got a couple different ones. I'm trying to find the right one.
All right. We got 3250. That's low, bro. That's low. Wet?
With driver or without driver?
Without driver. So he's saying 3250 without a driver.
Okay. If I take
Charles has got to do some math. 1 second.
$31.68.
31.68. Whoa, really? Lab rat, not stock.
Yeah, that's. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. 31.68 wet.
I'm just checking my notes. That's full tank of gas.
Full tank of gas.
Yeah.
All right. 31.68 full tank of gas. It is.
That's everything.
So that's all of our shit on the car.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's all of our shit on the car with a cage. This is our car with a cage, with our 19-inch wheels, with our aero package, and with our exhaust on it.
Wing splitter. Full tank of gas, extended tank.
Full tank of gas. Full tank of gas.
3/4 tank.
Sorry, 3/4 tank, extended tank. Any word on a composite intake option for the regular 718 GT4, Mr. Eric B.
Didn't we just talk about that yesterday?
We did just talk about that yesterday or the day before. Charles and I have been reviewing our development plans, and in a small company, you got to go after where the green is, so to speak. And
really, it's all going to come down to when Cobb gets all the other stuff opened up, I think, first.
Correct. So one of the things that we're waiting on for the 718 GT4 is there is no extended tank. What? I thought there was. Larry's been speccing them. He's our architect detail guide. Maybe we got an early extended tank. We got that unicorn. I don't fucking know, Larry. I don't know. Then if there is no extended tank, then there's one tank and it's 31.68. Yeah. So with 3/4 of a tank of gas. The scales don't lie. Like my hips don't lie. Bring it. They're the scale dyno. So our headers and muffler have already maxed out the available fuel maps that we have in the Cobb, so we can't add any more fuel. So when we add more power with an intake, we need Cobb to open up more maps so that we can actually tune the car, because we're already at the limit. We're already at the limit. Why are my glasses so crooked on here? This is crazy. I look like I'm crazy, Jimmy. Really? I'm like, my head looks crooked in here. It literally looks like I got a bend in my head, and my head doesn't bend. It's just like, let me get back a little bit. Hey, there, I straightened out. How about that?
Maybe it's just king tide.
It's a king tide. Anyway, so yes, it is on our development horizon, but we need Cobb to open up some maps for us so that we can open up more power. If others are not saying that they need more maps to get more fueling, then maybe you should question how much power they're making. Because at the end of the day, the ECU is the thing that dictates what we can achieve.
Even with everything adjusted, we're still short. It's still 7% adding fuel.
Yeah. So, yeah. This is why I try and be quiet about this kind of stuff, Eric, but it gets really frustrating when I see that yeah, it is FOV distortion for sure, Larry. When I see things that from other exhaust manufacturers that get a company with a dyno that does tuning to generate a YouTube video to illustrate how much power they've generated, I'm always like, crunchy face. They don't have their own dyno. That means they designed some shit and they didn't know if it worked or not. And they took it to commercialization. And then They sent it somewhere and said, does it make power? Cross their fingers? Fucking A. We'll go through 5 or 6 different iterations sometimes, just testing shit. Not that we didn't know what was going to make power, but because we're curious, because every engine's a little different. I've seen Charles in there with fucking random tubes and come in here and weld some shit together and try some crazy like Frankenstein shit just to understand what the difference is. And that's why we have a $100,000 dyno cell next door that sits empty and doesn't do anything probably 90% of the time. We use it probably 10% of the time that we use it, but it's important to have it. So anyway, 718 GT4 engines are going to continue to have failures because they run too hot. I agree with you, Larry. It's not a dry sump engine. It's a really fancy Boxster. And I say that in the most loving way that is possible, but it is not a GT car, even though it says it's a GT4. The Club Sports are another one that I'm like, yeek. That's a street car with a cage. That's not a race car. What's that? Cayman Club Sport. Yes. Try not to hate on shit, but sometimes it happens. I'm not a hater. I'm actually a very warm, loving, fuzzy guy. I go to sleep every night with my kitty cat curled up right here in my arms, and I go to sleep and giving her kisses. I'm a pretty fuzzy, warm fella, and it bugs me when guys don't like me for bullshit reasons. But everybody has to have a villain in their story, and if that's me, okay, you know. Exactly. It's critiquing. It's the chef's kiss. We have to you have to taste everything to figure out what your palate actually likes. That's not an unreasonable thing to say. All right, y'all. I got nothing else. Takeaways for this evening. 1, Centerlocks. Call Porsche, give them a fucking hard time, make them pay you. Because if you don't, nobody going to do it for you. And they only giving you a loaner car for 3 months without your car. Fuck that noise. So, just because the date on your Centerlock, let me get this without getting any devil grease on me. Date on your Centerlock falls in the middle of the range of 36 to 49, 6 squared, 7 squared. You guys can remember that. 6 squared, 7 squared. It's also a May of 24 randomly showed up on that list as well. Oh, May of 24. How the fuck did that happen? They like big range and then another little window of May. Weird. Anywho, the does not mean that you can buy new Centerlock bolts. These have threads on them. I don't know if you guys see this. Calling it a Centerlock nut is actually a misnomer. Charles brought this up the other day. Everybody says it. It's not a nut. This has the threads on it. On the outside, not on the inside. The nut is actually on the car. This is a bolt. This, Centerlock nut rolls off the tongue a little easier. And boys like nuts. Who knew? There is not a date stamp on the outer face of the Centerlock. We were looking, and that would be a little weird. It says GT3 or GT3RS and a date stamp on it.
Probably in a spot that's
So,
not accessible
So, strut tower braces will not prevent your strut towers from exploding. If you want to drive your car over curbs at 100 miles an hour repeatedly, eventually they'll break. They just won't break as catastrophically, and you'll be able to drive the car back to the paddock. So do not believe that buying a strut tower brace fixes your car. It is not an insurance policy. It's just maybe something that makes you sleep better at night. I don't know. Why did Porsche put them on the Club Sports? Probably so they could get back to the paddock when they blew up, because they knew they're going to blow up. I don't know. In Porsche parlance, it's a screw. You mean the fact that they're screwing us because they need to recall these? That's a screw? That I can agree with, Larry. I think that's a screw. Anyway, so those two things. For those of you who don't understand how cool it was for Track Car to join us, he is Porsche GT car royalty. He's been around. He's had all of them. And if you ever need an opinion about how a car drives,
He has all of them.
he has all of them, and some of them warranted. He's also a pretty cool dude. Offered me some smoke that may or may not have been legal in the area that we were in, but you know, it's good. It's good. Whiskey Friday. Take your poison as you need to. So if you're going to buy a strut tower brace, buy the best one that's out there, but know that isn't going to keep your car from breaking. MCS with longer stroke, potentially a better investment. We have not seen an MCS car break. We've seen KW cars break. We've seen stock struts break. Haven't seen MCS cars break. See what I did there? I just fucked it up. Anyway, rewind, edit, all you go. And any one of you who have an MCS car that breaks, do not put it on the internet. Call me first. So, absolutely, brother. Good you joined us the whole time, Peter. You're welcome anytime. And I'm gonna go get some hamburgers. You guys have a good night. Enjoy the fight. If you're watching it, Netflix, borrow your friend's account, get that going, and we see you guys next week. Buy some shit. It's Black Friday. Talk to you soon. Good night. All right.
Seems more